Hello, I'm Odin, and this time I'm going to make a variation on a previous prop. I'm going to make a Boffer version of the Kingdom Key from Kingdom Hearts.
What the f***'s a Boffer, Odin?
I'm getting there. The Kingdom Key is the iconic Keyblade from the Kingdom Hearts video game series. And a Boffer weapon is a foam sword used in live-action games. I'm going to make my Keyblade in a simplified Boffer style so you can get out in one afternoon and do battle with your Heartless friends.
I want to start with some plans. These were made by Reddit user Keyblade Crafter. I enlarged the teeth of the key and the top of the crown or bow to full size so I can cut them out and use them as a pattern. For this type of blade, I only need one piece of PVC pipe to attach everything to. I measure out 11 inches for the grip and 2 more inches for the throat of the key. Then I need 23 inches for the blade. So I cut out a section of 3/4 inch PVC 36 inches long. And I'm making it a few inches short so the end can be 100% foam. This is a safety to not poke anybody. With enough use, the ends of the pipe can be sharp enough to cut through the foam, so I file the ends down and wrap them with duct tape. You can also sand them or glue in a plug if you have the right size. I didn't. This end will be the hilt, and before I do the same thing to the tip, I'll slide out a 17-inch piece of pipe insulation. Now this will only represent the shaft of the key. I'll make the teeth for one piece of foam and add it on later. I use the paper pattern to double check that there'll be enough padding at the end, and then trace the pattern onto some floor mat foam. I want to use one piece of foam for the wrap, so I add 4.5 inches between the pattern pieces. I know 4.5 inches was the right amount because I had checked earlier by wrapping some scrap foam around the pipe and making a mark. Then I cut out the foam, rolled it around the pipe and hot glued it in place. I added a scrap piece to add some thickness to the teeth of the key. Then I realized I forgot to put duct tape on the end. So I tore it open and added the tape to help protect the foam. Another mistake I made was to use this heavy EVA foam. This floor mat was a little too solid to hit someone with. A camping pad would be a much better idea. Once I corrected my tape mistake, I stuffed the open with some scrap foam and simply wrapped everything with duct tape. I tried to be fancy and keep the tape as smooth as I could and cut little notches into the tape. But about a week later, most of the small corners were not staying down. So more wrap and less cut would be a better idea. Then I wrapped the shaft so it was silver and taped it down to the pipe. Now to start on the bow of the key. When I cut my paper pattern, I add 1.25 inches to the side of the pattern that connects to the pipe. That way, I can flip it over and trace out a large bow piece and I'll have enough material to wrap around the pipe. And by cutting out 2, I can sandwich the pipe between them and get the bulges at the top and the bottom of the bow. I wrapped the bow in yellow duct tape. This is the 3M brand tape and I was not completely satisfied with it. It's tape, it stuck just like it's supposed to, but it was a little translucent and I could see the dark foam through the tape. It took 2 coats to cover the foam and get a mostly uniform color. Also, after a week, this tape had peeled off itself even worse than the silver tape. I would not recommend yellow 3M duct tape for making solid color boffers. I cut a round disc of foam to cover the end and it'll act as a pommel. And to make the grip black, I used hockey tape. And then I added some blue hockey tape to make the shoulder of the key. Dark blue electrical tape would have been better.
You can use this same idea to make any of the other Keyblades you see in the game, or you can make up your own. Most of the material that I used for the Keyblade was purchased at Home Depot. I put a part list in the description. There's plenty of ways you can make something, but this is how Odin makes. If you like the video or have other ideas for something for me to make, please leave them in the comments below. And if you make any of these projects for yourself, I'd love to see a picture. Send me one at odin@odinmakes.com.